And we're back. Hey everybody, we should be back.
Good
I got
evening.
sound, so we should be streaming live to Facebook and YouTube right now.
But my thing hadn't told me that we are.
I know, but it's gotta catch up because there's a delay. Oh, you mean you haven't gotten the notification yet?
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be a little bit delayed. So let me get my comments going here.
Oh, I'm not on the internet because somebody put me on
because I
airplane
put you on
mode.
airplane mode to charge you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry. That's a battery charging tip. If you
I
want your
know.
phone or your
you told them last
iPad to charge
There
more
it is.
quickly, you put it on airplane mode. And
And I forget that he does that all the time because I don't do it.
yeah. So I am wearing my purple AldermanFarms shirt, Tom.
Oh, did they lose?
Yep, sure
Oh, they
did.
did.
But it was a good game. I didn't, championship caliber teams do what championship caliber teams do. And our defense, just like last year, our defense played flawlessly except for a handful of plays, and Bama made us pay. They capitalized on those handful of mistakes. But unlike last year, we actually had several offensive opportunities to change the game. And unlike Bama, we did not capitalize. And so, what you saw, I'll tell you the difference. The difference was two things mostly. Jalen Hurts, Alabama's quarterback, was incredible. He escaped some sacks and did some great things. He was a difference maker, but I'm going to tell you who else was a difference maker. And I hadn't been watching any of the coverage today, but I don't know if I haven't heard anybody but me say this. Alabama's doggone punter was money last night. That dude kicked the football a mile high and dropped it on the 5-yard line every time he punted, it seemed like, no matter where he punted from. Our defense made Bama have more 3-and-outs than anybody else has. But man, when that dude punted that football, we had to start from our 5-yard line. I don't know how many times. So, hey, I slept good last night. I didn't want to get beat 66-3.
So they played Alabama last night.
Yeah, at Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like you wouldn't like an Alabama sign or nothing like that, though, huh?
Why? What are you talking about?
Remember Big Bear's auction?
Yeah, you bought something.
Remember they had that Alabama sign?
Oh yeah, and you bought it.
Mm-mm.
No good.
But I was egged on by people to buy it.
Boy, with friends like y'all, who needs enemies?
Yep, some of those friends are on here.
That was a pretty cool thing. Speaking of that, the auction for Jason and Robin, who kind of run into a little stretch of difficulty, and the community just came unglued and came around and donated a bunch of cool stuff and raised a good amount of money to help them out. It was a pleasure to be a part of, and of course we didn't hesitate because we had so many people rally around us.
Yes, such a blessing.
Following the dog attack.
Yes.
And I need a rag or something to wipe that off.
Tim, I wasn't going to tell him who got the sign because I figured he might be scared.
Oh, who got it, Tim? So I can expect it in the mail?
Well, I ain't saying that.
That's good because it's starting to get cool around here and I could use some more firewood.
Ooh. Yeah. What are you going to wipe? The camera?
Yeah, I'm going to wipe the camera.
Okay, y'all.
All right, here goes a whiteout.
Now, blackout.
Now it's a whiteout.
Oh, that's terrible.
Blackout, whiteout, whiteout, blackout. That's better though. I think it's more
I couldn't
focused.
tell anything.
I think I must have.
Oh, Amy said Mark is super excited about his LSU hat.
That's neat. So, yeah, for those of you that don't know, I didn't know, and I felt weird about this when we wanted to auction stuff, and Patty had stuff to offer. She auctioned off
It was cool.
a package of 3 of her dip mixes.
Hope got that.
Yeah,
And
Cherish.
I can't remember. Yeah,
Cherish and Hope's Homestead got that.
Yeah.
She offered one of her sourdough starter kits, and she offered just a package of dehydrated sourdough starter with the instructions. And my goodness, I didn't keep up with how much your items brought in.
I don't know.
I mean, but one of them went for $40.
Yeah.
One of them went for, I think another one went for 40. I don't remember.
I don't remember, but what a huge blessing.
What a huge blessing.
It was a fun night too, and I'm gonna be expecting stuff in the mail too.
Yeah, so
that'll be fun.
I don't make nothing. I'm not very handy, you know. So, and I felt weird about offering this item because I thought it may have sounded kind of presumptuous, you know, as if anybody would want this. But Big Bear had actually done it before. He had auctioned off one of his hats. I think it was Big Bear. So I decided to auction off my LSU, my yellow LSU cap, dirt and all, sweat and everything. I'm literally, somebody commented I was literally giving you the sweat off my brow. And I autographed it and put our little theme verse under it. And so I think it went for $25. So that was pretty cool. So
I saw y'all.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yep.
So.
Oh, and you know, you didn't take a picture of your project you did today.
No, I didn't. I feel like I need to, that don't help.
Yeah.
I got to do this.
I was trying to move.
We're not this short, no matter what Big Bear says. We're not quite this short.
That's better.
How's that? Is that better?
That's better.
Well, I did that when I was cleaning the lid.
I guess so.
Yeah. So, you know, y'all might can tell we sound a little muted tonight. And, you know, we are a little muted tonight because, in fact, I thought about whether it was appropriate to have a show at all, or whether it was maybe appropriate to have an abbreviated show or whatever, because, we just cannot fathom the pain that the folks in the tiny little Texas community of Sutherland Springs, I think that's right, Sutherland Springs, Texas, are experiencing this evening. I can tell you that it will be years and years and years, if ever, before that little community ever experiences again anything remotely resembling normalcy. You know, you guys have heard me talk about never completely swallowing initial reports and initial reporting coming out of things because it's notoriously wrong, notoriously bad, fog of war kind of stuff. But if I'm correct in what I heard, it's a community of only like 400 people. Mm-hmm. You know, it's really, really a small little place. Yeah. And, you know, they had a large church service today, and there were like 50-something people.
Yeah, I think there was somebody said that they normally run about 50 at their church service, but there was more there because when you add up the injured and the people that were killed, it's over 50.
Yeah, so the math is just heartbreaking because Governor Abbott on a news conference just an hour or so ago, maybe 2 hours ago, confirmed that at this point there were 26 who had lost their lives, including the 14-year-old pastor's the pastor's 14-year-old daughter. And I may have just read that the pastor was out of town.
Yeah, he was out of town.
But 26 people confirmed deceased at the moment. We don't know the extent of the injuries. That number may go up. I pray that it doesn't. But then they were saying another 20 to 30 injured. So it's like almost everyone in there. Mm-hmm. I saw information a little while ago that said there was a 5-year-old who was hit 4 times and is in surgery in critical condition. And
there's a 5-year-old. The youngest victim was a 5-year-old, but of course there was a pregnant lady that was also is deceased.
See, initial reports that there was a 2-year-old that was hit, but I haven't heard any further about that. So that could have just been one of those cases where wasn't quite right. You know,
I just saw that it said the victims were anywhere from 5 to 70.
Right. I've seen that too.
Yeah.
But you remember when it first broke, there was information that a 2-year-old had been injured. But y'all, it's just so I want to draw your attention to something. In the link of the description, in the description of this video, both on Facebook and YouTube, I've put a direct link to a Dropbox folder. It's a Dropbox link to my PDF on When Trauma Strikes. And I don't know who's out there watching that may know somebody. I don't know who will watch this video in the days to come, but this is not a link to the sign-up page on our website to get you to sign up for our email list. We would love for everybody to do that, but that's not what this is about. This is a direct link to the PDF. Mm-hmm. And if you know anybody that lives in Texas, send them that link, download it for yourself, and send them the PDF or something. You can, when I edit this video later, I will put a card right here to point to the presentation on that material that I did at the Homesteaders of America conference in Virginia. It's not monetized. I'm not looking for a nickel out of this. I just want this material to get into the hands of people who can use it. I've gotten emails from people, gut-wrenching emails from people thanking me for that presentation and for videoing it. You heard me tell the story of the lady on site, after the presentation, who came up and who was set free basically from a burden of thinking she was abnormal due to a reaction she had to the loss of her husband 6 years ago. And I've gotten similar emails, from other Facebook messages and emails from other people saying the same thing. I now understand that I'm normal. And so I want people to know that they are about to experience some things. The people who have been affected by this tragedy, they're about to experience some things in their minds and in their emotions that they're probably not ready for, including experiencing nothing. You need to understand that. People need to know that because a lot of times, especially in something this horrific, if somebody has no trouble with it emotionally, if they don't lose sleep, they wonder what's wrong with them.
Right.
And they need to know there's nothing wrong with them, that's a normal reaction. There's no guarantee that they'll react that way the next time, but it's perfectly normal. So share that PDF, share the video of the presentation with anybody in Texas, or hey, anybody who's faced any kind of trauma. I believe it'll help them. So can we pray right now? I just feel like we ought to pray for the people of Sutherland Springs, Texas, and the people of Texas and for America. Can we do that? That'd be all right. Let's pray. Father, at times like these, when we have no answers whatsoever, it is such comfort to know that you are a sovereign God who was not taken by surprise by this. It's a comfort to know that you've got more grace, you've got more peace to offer than is needed. Lord, that if folks will turn to you, their cup can run over with grace and mercy, because yours is a fountain that never runs dry. And so, Lord, I pray that whether through my hands or somebody's hands, people will get a hold of such information as we have to offer. And we're not the only ones. There's lots of people out there who are armed with this information. I pray, Lord, that you would make their path clear. To get to those that are going to be hurting in the days and weeks to come. Lord, equip your ministers to be there to apply the balm of Gilead, because you bind up the brokenhearted. Lord, we look forward to the day when we can hear people testifying to your goodness and your kindness and your mercy, and giving you glory, because you deserve it. So, Lord, heal up the brokenhearted, bind up their wounds, give them peace and grace and mercy and understanding. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you all for indulging me. Let me do that. And so, you know, we decided to kind of go on with our show, but if we kind of just seem toned down a little bit, we just don't feel like it's appropriate to be perhaps as giddy as we might normally be. But we don't want you to think it's because of you. We don't want you to think because we're feeling bad. We love you guys, and we're so thankful for you. And so we're not mad at anybody. We just don't want to be inappropriate at a time like this. Does that make sense?
Donna Norris was asking about, do they know the cause of the killing? And they don't. I mean, they're not saying anything. They had a news conference, and I watched most of it. And
what I'm comfortable saying that seems to be confirmed is the shooter has been identified. I'm not live
far away from
not far away from there. I don't want to make him any more famous than he is, so I'm not going to say his name. And that he was booted out of the Air Force I think a little while ago. Some other, as far as his motivations are concerned, there are some reports out there, but I'm not going to repeat them until they're confirmed. And so, no sign of an international connection. I feel comfortable saying that at this point. No sign of. There was an early report that I think just was somebody just spouting off that he had been a Islamic convert. There's no sign of that.
No, there's no sign.
No sign of that at all. So.
But I tell you what it's made me think about. I mean, this can happen anywhere. In this little town,
400 people.
Who would have ever thought that something like this could have happened there? But, what it made me think about is that what stopped, I think he had exited the church, but what got him maybe stopped as far as going any further anywhere else is that a neighbor to the church heard all the shooting and came out with his shotgun and exchanged fire with him. They don't know if his bullet is actually the one that killed him.
Not a shotgun, a rifle.
A rifle? I thought it was a shotgun. But anyway.
Well, there you go. The report I saw said rifle.
Well,
it may not be confirmed.
But they don't know if it was the neighbor's bullet that killed him or if it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound that killed him. But the point is that the neighbor heard the shooting and he reacted. And, sometimes Tommy's always taught us, and it's through his police work and everything, we've taught the kids that, you need to be thinking ahead. What would you do? And not that you dwell on bad things, because God doesn't want us to do that, but you should have a plan. You should know if X happens, I'm going to do this,
right.
or whatever. And, I'm sure that had to be so shocking. I mean, we hear gunshots around here all the time. We live in the country. But if we hear a bunch of gunshots or when it's not hunting season, we start checking with our neighbors, and say, are y'all practicing, what's going on or whatever. And it's always good to, have a plan.
That's right. And you have to be on guard against, I've talked about this briefly. That's my fat dead lip. Every now and then, my lip is still mostly dead. For you Princess Bride fans out there, it's just mostly dead. And every now and then it still trips me up. So I talked about this on the show briefly once before. But you need to be on guard against normalcy bias. And you can do some research on that. Normalcy bias. I recommend a book, especially for you ladies, but for men too, called The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBecker. And he talks a lot about normalcy bias. And so consider this. This happens all the time. I'm willing to bet that this has happened to you. Something seems abnormal to you, and you talk yourself out of it. You say, I'm overreacting. That's probably all right. DeBecker and others tell story after story of, say, a young woman walking down the street, and she sees some shady-looking character on the same side of the street up ahead of her, and her gut immediately tells her something's not right here. You should probably go to the other side of the street. But her normalcy bias, we all have a bias for normalcy. We want everything to be normal in our world. And so her bias, her normalcy bias would kick in, and she would say to herself, oh, he's harmless, you're overreacting, everything's going to be fine. Get down there to the guy and he grabs her and cuts her throat or whatever. You know, her gut was telling her correctly. So when your gut is telling you something is wrong, listen to your gut.
Yes.
There are just too many stories, heartbreaking stories, of people who their gut was trying to tell them something's wrong here, and they didn't want to be the one to say something's wrong here. And I have no idea whether any of this took place today, but I know in other mass shooting situations. Listen, you can see. I want to recommend a YouTube channel for you. It's called Active Self-Protection. Tim, if you're man enough, go find that link to Active Self-Protection on YouTube. I love this guy named John, and he has this training YouTube channel where he gets, I don't know how he curates them, but he gets videos from all over the world. Of violent encounters, and then he tells you what's supposed to happen, he shows you the violent encounter, and then he breaks it down from a self-protection standpoint. And I get tickled at some of the comments from people who don't understand these things. There was one example where a guy robbed a bank. It was in another country, and after the gun was pulled out, and I think maybe after the first 2 or 3 shots were fired, and most everybody in the bank was still standing in line, just looking. You know, Las Vegas is another thing. You know, when those shots started ringing out, the reaction, the self-preservation reaction, was delayed, and it began to spread through the crowd as somebody could. Because think about this. So the shots rang out for a long time. And I don't know how many seconds it was before the first few people said, this is not normal. And they began taking action. Yeah. But for other people, they had to have the combination of the bullets ringing out and the visual of other people reacting before they could overcome their normalcy bias and agree this is not normal. I hope that makes sense. Did that make sense? It's a strong thing, normalcy bias. So you have to be on guard against it. And Patty just gave a great example. We know, because we live in a rural area, we know that a few shots every now and then that we hear from different directions is normal. And it really is most of the time. But we know that if we hear a series or, beyond that, so many, we know that's not normal, and we don't let ourselves pretend that it is. And so, not pretend, we don't let ourselves convince ourselves that it is. So you need to be, I can't say that this is always true, so this is not a prescription, but I can tell you that most of the time, if your gut tells you something is not right, it's not right. And so you need to take preservative action, self-preservation action. Does that make sense? Hi, Valerie from Canada, the Great White North, eh?
Have a lot of people making comments on here talking about how that there's people in their congregation that concealed carry. There's law enforcement in there. Of course, Life of a Male Wife says can't carry in Canada. So we've got a lot of people in those situations that, there's some states here in the here that, it's not legal to conceal carry, or you have to have a permit, or, there's just more strict rules and everything. I know when we went into Washington, D.C., we didn't bring even a gun in the car with us.
Right.
I
don't want to.
But, there's other avenues, and even with this YouTube page,
Active Self-Protection.
That Tommy said to go to. That's what I like about it, because it's in a lot of these different countries where, you can't have guns, and a lot of times the robbers don't even have a gun. Yeah. But it shows what they do, what the victim does to defend themselves. I mean, the last one I watched, I think I think he picked up the trash can. I mean, but it got him out of the fight, and he got out the door. Then he went out the door and locked the robbers inside. The robbers busted the window, but but he breaks it down, and he's not nitpicking, and he's not being critical, but he's giving you pointers of the good things that transpired by the victim, and things that they could have done to make the situation better.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. We never miss it. We've got the bell turned on, and whenever we get a notification that Active Self Protection has put up a video, we watch it. And y'all remember me talking about Blue hiding himself behind the Polaris as we drive around the fence because the little dog chased him. And I actually sent that. I found him on Facebook and sent it to him, and he loved it. He laughed. He said, "Man, that's great." That Blue was taking tactical measures, using cover and concealment to protect himself. But I highly recommend that. And go ahead.
Well, I was just Backyard Eden said that they have a security team at their church on duty at all times, and several police officers as well as EMTs. We've been in situations like that we have had people watching, and I guess that's kind of how things are,
Sure.
People need to be watchful.
This is the worst shooting in a church in U.S. history, but it's not the first, and sadly it won't be the last.
No. And like somebody said on here, churches are soft targets. Your guard is down.
That's
also,
right.
I'm going to tell you this that I've learned in the past, they're soft targets for pedophiles also. So just because you're at church, don't let your guard down of protecting your children.
That's right. And I don't want to get, y'all, any of you who watch our channel or watch us keep up with us on Facebook, on AldermanFarms, we don't want to turn it into a political thing, especially because it's, especially right now, I don't want to disrespect the people who are mourning so heavily, So I'll say this and kind of leave it at that, and I don't want the chat to blow up with this either, so I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm gonna. Almost immediately there were calls for gun control, and it just doesn't work. If it worked, maybe we could talk, but it doesn't work. The reports I've seen, and I fully recognize they may not be accurate, so there's a caveat for that, but it's my understanding that based on current reporting, that the guns he had were purchased illegally, so what do you do? I don't want to sound flippant, but why don't we outlaw murder? Oh wait, we have. So somebody posted, and it's absolutely right. It's a tragic thing to have to say. It's a cold, hard truth, but it is a truth. And that is that the best way to stop a bad man with a gun is with a good man with a gun. That's terrible, but that's what's real. And we talk about what's real here at AldermanFarms. So enough about that. And just be praying for the people of Texas. And look, don't get in arguments on Facebook about this. It ain't helping nothing. You're not changing anybody's mind, getting in an argument. You're just making yourself look bad. Be gentle. Yeah. Be reasonable. Be kind with people. Yeah. Live your life as you know it needs to be lived. And be prepared to protect your family, protect yourself, and protect others who think differently from you. Because it's the right thing to do. What next?
Well, I had some visitors to the farm this week.
You did have some visitors.
I did. And, I haven't heard from them to know they can't. I had Sharon and Tiffany come.
You elbowed me like you didn't want me to click it.
Oh, I did? I didn't mean to elbow
That was an accident. So
accident elbow.
Accidental elbow. That's her cue normally. Don't do that.
But anyway, so they came, and they don't live too far from us, and they actually watch us on YouTube. And let me think. I'm trying to think what they got. They had got some
chicken.
Red. I want to call them Red Rangers. That's not what they are. My goodness. Red Sex Links and some Delaware chickens. So we had a great visit and visited. So
it looked like y'all were just having a ball.
We did. We had such a good time. Nice Christian ladies. So that was mother and daughter, and grandkids. So.
So how many chickens did they get?
7.
And what'd you do with that money?
I put it at the table at your spot, and then I took it back.
Yeah, you did. I think you bought feed with it.
I bought feed with it.
You bought feed with it.
So see, I took care of it. I gave it
Let
to
me
him.
show y'all
I make
something.
money and I give it to him. I mean, what more could he ask for?
Let me show y'all something that I'm excited about, and my mind is blown about this, okay? Y'all remember that mushroom bag that we bought at the Great Appalachian Homesteading Conference back in May? We bought one from Two Angel Mushrooms, and they were blown away when I showed them this picture and told them about it. Well, it flushed one time. We got mushrooms off that bag one time.
Did you put it up yet?
Not yet. And, no, you were waiting for it was up to walk away? Sorry. Oh. It flushed one time. And then normally what happens is it goes to a little period of time and then flush a few more times. And, then I think they told me 60, 90 days it would be exhausted and that'd be it. Well, it never flushed again. And I actually contacted them and said, what do you think? And they said, you know what? Put it in the fridge for a while. Trick it. So I did. I put it in our redneck refrigerator outside and left it in there for a day or two or whatever and brought it out. No dice. I watered it, all that kind of stuff. Well, y'all, it is November. I bought this thing in May. The date on the bag is November. And look at this.
Tabitha.
It flushed again, or whatever you call it now.
I don't like the word flush. Why don't you say it sprouted?
Yeah, sprouted. Well, I wanted to be technically correct, and I may not be anyway. Can you believe that?
I had just told him a week before, this thing needs to go to the compost pile.
Yeah. Yes, because, it's just sitting there kind of an eyesore if it's not producing anything.
And I said the wrong names a while ago. That's why I got up and got my phone. I said Tiffany, Tabitha.
Tabitha? Oh,
Tabitha
let's put them back up. Let's put them back up.
Yes, because I saw that.
So why don't you point to them and tell everybody who to see?
That. I pointed, y'all. Okay.
She pointed. I thought you were playing along. So,
anyway.
So next to you is one of them.
Sharon. If I'm being terrible, tell me.
And Tabitha. Oh, is she on?
I know it's Tabitha. Yeah, she's on here. She was on here.
That's a great picture. Gosh, and y'all look so much alike. That's her daughter or her granddaughter?
That's her. Ooh, tell your mama he said that. She ain't gonna like you no more.
Well, they look just alike.
That's her daughter.
Okay. And that's her granddaughter.
That's her granddaughter, and that's her grandson.
Okay.
That's.
Anyway.
Oh, well, she's not saying anything on here. Okay. But anyway, so, I want to correct that because I'm so bad with names. But when I said the wrong name, and it was the wrong name, but I couldn't think of the right name.
And what is this picture?
What's that?
I need to know about this picture because.
Oh, I just thought I would show you what I ate this week because I have been craving that. And Julie made chili, and I made pig in a blanket, and that's a pig in a blanket under there.
Oh man! Well, the blanket ain't big enough.
So
that's a big pig.
I just, because sometimes I don't take pictures of things, but I was going to actually send it to you to show you what I was eating.
Oh.
Without you, but anyway, I took a little more pictures this week because we do things, but we don't always take pictures of it.
We didn't show pictures of Tomas's birthday party.
I think we did. We showed the video. We did, but we have some other pictures. A girl at the farmer's market, Jill, makes kettle corn, and Tomas had it the weekend before his party, and so I got him a bag and put it in the very bottom of his birthday bag, and he was so thrilled over his kettle corn. It was so funny that he got so excited about that.
And then
Carly Ann captured just some great pictures, so we just wanted to show y'all. That's our oldest daughter, Chelsea, Tomas, and our first son-in-law, Guillermo.
Yeah, that we call him Chicho. And look at this shot right here.
It's so sweet.
Isn't that an awesome, I just love that picture. Mm-hmm. And then Tomas, who's been taking karate, had his first tournament, and he got 2 first-place gold medals.
He did good.
He did good.
But it was so funny.
Excited.
It was so funny. Chelsea FaceTimed me, and she said, we had a talk with Tomas last night before the before the karate competition because he was shooting to get 3rd place. They had to explain to him, no, we try our very best, and whatever we get, we're good with that. If it's 3rd place, that's okay. But if it's first place, that's okay too. But we try our very best, and that's what I told him. I said, yeah, we always try our best. So
that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know why 3rd place. Maybe he likes the number 3 better than 1. I don't know.
Yeah. I wanted to, and here let me brag on Blue again. Blue knows he's not allowed in our bedroom, right? So when we go in the bedroom, he lays right there with the door standing open. He stops right there and lays down.
And I fussed at him one time.
Yeah, and that's where he's waiting when we come out of the bedroom. He's such a good boy, and I just love him. Oh, speaking of dogs, what's happening here, Pat?
What, baby? Oh, I was in the kitchen, and my back was turned, and I heard a noise, and it scared me because Mama was eating, and I turned around, and Toby was trying to get her food. I said, Mama, why didn't? Well, he wasn't trying to get it actually. He was doing that. It was just sitting there, and that was him. I heard whining to her, and I said, Mama, why didn't you say anything? And she said, he's all right.
What's so funny about those pictures is Toby looks so busted in those pictures, doesn't he?
I grabbed my camera right quick and took the picture.
He looks like he's trying to be invisible.
But that's Corey's dog, so that's what Julie, my sister, said. That's because that was Corey's dog. Mama said it was okay.
Yeah. We do have a video. What's this video about? It's the goats.
Oh, I was just going to show.
I probably got. Do you want sound on it or not?
Well, I talked on it, but it don't have to have sound. We moved the goats. We've had them over.
Sorry, that's not it. Give me a second.
We've had them over in the pine trees, and we've moved them over to like back behind Mama's house in our trailer, and it's just they haven't been there in a while. You see how grown up it is, and they were just loving it. They were just going.
Didn't know where to go first.
Yeah, so I was excited to let them loose over there, and we've got to be careful and not let those pigs out because that's what the pig that kept going to visit our neighbor. So
I also got some interesting pictures down here. You wanna tell them about that before I show the pictures?
Yeah, y'all, we were talking about doing the wall. We did a video. We've talked on here about it too. Up there, let me see.
What you want to do?
I want to make it look up. There, that's a good idea. You see, let me get my finger up. Hold still.
Okay.
I can't make my finger up there. You see that big old open space? I can't point to it. Anyway, that's the upstairs.
It's backwards, y'all.
And where we're gonna have there's gonna be a bedroom up there. But we talked about doing railing and stuff like that up there, and not sure what to do and everything. And we've got all this wood here, and so I thought about we were gonna do cedar, the little post things and everything, and we kind of decided that maybe we want to do like a half wall across there for more privacy up there and everything. And so that's why I had a friend, talked to a friend and everything about it, and she was saying that maybe it might not look the best to do it out of cedar because it's another wood, and I just didn't know how it was going to look. But anyway, we thought about doing tin and like old barn tin, because I told her I'd originally thought about putting tin up there in the upstairs room. And so I've been looking for some old barn tin. And when I turned the goats loose in the back, I was missing one. And so Tommy was working away from home. And so I had to get in the Polaris and go look. And lo and behold, guess what I passed? Go ahead. Old tin. This is actually an old outhouse that's on our property that's behind the church that Tommy's great granddaddy or so gave the property.
This is not just an outhouse. It is a luxury outhouse.
Yes,
that is a 2-seater, boys and girls. I kid you not. That is a 2-seat outhouse that has been standing right there for 100 years, I guess.
But anyway, where's the other picture? Because it's that one right there. It's got some of the tin on there. So I'm excited about getting that. I've read up on it. I already know what to do. I know how to clean it, and I know how you can put polyurethane on it. And you got me the polyurethane already, didn't you?
Was that the other?
Yeah, that was the other thing. Mm-hmm. And so I've got to order the other stuff because they didn't have it in here. So anyway, so I'm excited about that, getting that done. I'm ready to have it
Boy, you can
done.
really see that thing hanging down.
Quit.
I'm told if you do that, it makes it go away.
Well, we don't want to do it on YouTube. About that.
Yep, it's No Shave November. I'm celebrating toxic masculinity, so I'm told. Oh well, get over it.
Okay, Tim Beverly says Alderman Farms black iron pipe. Oh, you're talking about upstairs? Yeah, that would look really good too. But I'm wanting to do maybe the wall thing for privacy. But yeah, because I wonder like that metal pipe.
Well, Roy still thinks he's doing it. Wrought iron.
That's true. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, what else? Because we're going to sing here in a minute. Oh, you want to tell them about
Yes, the history of the house. Yes, that's what I like about having part of that outhouse, and that old wood on the outhouse is really pretty too.
We're probably going to take that wood down and do something with it.
Yeah,
one of these days I'll have to get Tommy Nettles, who y'all all know is the greatest neighbor in the universe. I'll have to get him the story of them trying to move one.
For me. Yeah, Tommy needs to tell that story. What is that? Automan?
NC Automan. Been in a 2-seater more times than a few.
Yeah, I've never been in one.
I ain't never been in that one because I don't like stinging things. So I never think about it in the dead of winter to go in there and look around. But maybe y'all help us remember when it's real cold.
Springfield. No, we're going to take it down. We're going to get the metal
when it gets cold. Oh no, we'll get but I ain't going up in there till it gets. We'll see. I guess I have to wear my bee outfit.
Yeah, there you go.
What?
I was just going to say, Billy says she loves outhouses and
Springfield said great aunt and uncle had a 2-seater.
Yeah.
Well, they must have been in high cotton. They must have been in the upper crust to have a 2-seater, right?
Yeah.
When the end said it's going to look good. Said you could use cattle panels. Well. Yeah, but no. We want it to be solid for privacy. That is a good idea, Deborah, but I didn't think about that. That would have been nice if we were going to leave it open to use cattle panels. That would have been interesting. But we want it to close off, and it's actually going to be a workspace on the other side of it.
Yeah, we're going to put a desk up there and everything.
Yeah. Hey, tell them about this. Speaking of finding cool things.
What? Oh no, we don't get to get it.
We don't?
Well, no, because we're supposed to go get it today.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. Pretend you didn't see that, I guess.
Yeah, I meant to text Patty.
You forgot all about it.
There's a girl at the farmer's market.
Dang, I can't believe that.
I told you I had to get it this Saturday or Sunday. Anyway, that beautiful sink that was there, they're redoing the kitchen, and she's having them take that sink out, and I was talking to her at the farmer's market Friday. We got a picture of that. And she told me that I did just my booth set up right there, what I brought to the farmer's market. But she told me that...
It brought most of that home, too.
Yep, I sure did. But she told me that we could have that sink. It's a cast iron sink. She said it weighs 300 pounds. And Corey and Tommy were supposed to go get it today, but he forgot.
Oh, yeah, Tommy forgot.
Well, I can't get it.
You know you got to remind me of that kind of stuff.
I'm going to text her.
Man.
Maybe when they're tearing it out, they'll set it to the side. But anyway, because they're going to tear out everything.
God, yeah, text
her.
So anyway, tell her how sorry we are. Man.
Anyway, so I was hoping to get that.
Daryl said get the 10 as soon as the split rail fence is done. She's changed her mind about that split rail fence, and it ain't my fault.
No. I did not change my mind about it. I said we could have a very shortened version of it.
That's changing your mind about it because the one you wanted was the length of the driveway.
Well, but not totally changing my mind. I
didn't say that you decided you didn't want any. I said you changed your mind about the split rail fence.
Didn't that mean I decided I didn't want it when he said I changed my mind? When we change our mind, it is changed.
Well,
the
that's
mind's
true.
Changed.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So
that's true.
Now, we're just going to do like 2 sections on each side of the driveway coming into Mama's house, I think.
Okay.
I think and they're going to be long, like at least 8 foot, each one of them.
All right. Let's sing. You want to?
Are you upset? Are you upset?
No. No, I'm looking at the clock. Time's flying.
Did you set that clock right?
Yeah, kind
of. Okay.
Well, Tara. Thanks, Tara.
What?
She's with you.
Well, yeah. That's why I said women.
Women, folks.
Oh, Chrissy says she used to bathe her babies in a big farm sink like that. I did too. We had a big wash sink. We had a big, it was just a one sink, a big one.
Listen at that. Coco Noel said 3 sinks in. Sorry, 3 sinks in Michigan makes a licensed kitchen.
Here too.
Really?
Yeah. See why you messed up that for me.
Boy.
No. But yeah, and it looks really nice too. So I don't know. Hopefully, I can end up getting it.
Yeah, you need to text her as soon as we get off.
Yeah. But anyway, now what was I saying? I was saying something, and you interrupted me, and I can't remember what it was now. Oh well.
I don't know. All right. Well, we're gonna sing and we're gonna sign.
I used to have a big sink in the utility room in our house that we moved from to move here, and I've run all of my kids through that sink before. They were kind of big, but it was a lot easier than bending over a bathtub after being out in the garden and stuff. So.
You want that down a little more like that, so your signing will be on there.
Yeah, but I know Mama would like to see the.
What you gonna do?
Change places, maybe.
Huh?
Change places.
Yeah, I guess we'll swap places. Looks like you've drawn lines there anyway, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I just, at times like this, I like to be reminded of what's sure. And so this is an old hymn. I think the earliest version was somewhere around 1912 or something like that. So I hope we do it justice. Let me get my water in case I get choked right in the middle. My disclaimer as always is I'm not a singer, I'm a guy who sings, and there's a difference. So if I start in the wrong key, I'm just going to stop and start over. And I can't get it to stand up.
Here, you want to switch things?
Yeah, let's switch things.
Well, we can't switch all this.
No, just give me the thing. Yeah. Sorry, we'll be with y'all in a minute.
Sorry, y'all.
On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. Oh, that old rugged cross, so despised by the world, has a wondrous attraction for me. For the dear Lamb of God left his glory above to bear it to dark Calvary. till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. In the old rugged cross, stained with blood so divine, a wondrous beauty I see. For the dear Lamb of God left his glory above to pardon and sanctify me. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. To the old rugged cross I will ever be true, its shame and reproach gladly bear. Then he'll call me someday to my home far away, where his glory forever I'll share. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. And then we'll take that crown and lay it at his feet.
Yes.
Because I don't want a crown. He deserves all the crowns. Let's switch back. I don't feel right over here. I took the phone. I'm sorry. Well, I hope that was a blessing. It was a blessing to me because we can't talk about the cross enough, because that horrible, horrible, horrible instrument of torture and death, one of the most gruesome death instruments ever devised by man, and the most beautiful thing in the history of the universe happened under those ugly, ugly conditions. God Almighty hung on a cross and took punishment that I deserved. And I'll never get over that. And not only did he take my sin, he gave me his righteousness. And that's just not fair. It's the most unfair thing that's ever happened, because he's so full of mercy. And our prayer tonight is that the people of Sutherland Springs, Texas, find and feel his mercy, because they need it. They need it bad. Our hearts are heavy for the people of Sutherland Springs, Texas. Thank you all for your kindness.
Yes.
You're very kind, and I appreciate
thank y'all
that.
for your very nice, kind words. I really appreciate it.
Oh man, so I really thought that would take longer.
We still got
more time. Thanks, Simply.
Yeah, isn't that sweet? Yeah, y'all are so sweet.
Simply has already exhibited grace and mercy toward me.
Yeah.
Because we were.
Oh gosh, yeah.
What was that?
That was in the.
Was that the auction?
The auction, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Tommy acted ugly to her daughter.
No, I didn't.
No.
I looked up and saw let me just say a different type screen name, and I had a knee-jerk reaction and said troll, and so somebody I think banned the person real quick or put him in timeout or something because hey, if Tommy says troll, I guess.
And he took the blame too. He said he apologized to her others.
It was Simply's daughter. It wasn't an ugly name. It just was a little different. And so I looked up. I went to Simply and them's Facebook page and sent a message. Hey, I am so sorry. I hope you weren't offended. And it was my fault. I had a knee-jerk reaction, and they laughed about it and said they tried to tell. They've told their daughter a few times that that's a trollish sounding name, and so they graciously let me off the hook. So thank you for that, for your grace in that situation. Simply, that was too funny. Hey Richard, hey Robin.
Freedom Homestead says,
thank you, Tina.
Glad that you said that, Tommy. I was just thinking about how we lay our crowns down at his feet. Said Tangi was singing loudly from the next room.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people were singing.
Yeah, that's the only catch I have with that song is that it's not, they don't finish the thought, because the Bible says we do get crowns, but we're going to lay them at his feet. I don't want a crown. To be able to look at him and to have eternity to say thank you is not enough, and so I'll be happy to be a beggar on the streets of gold, but that's not the kind of God he is. There won't be any beggars in heaven, and so I pray that thoughts of heaven will fill the hearts of the people again in Sutherland Springs, Texas. It's a tough thing. Tough thing. Unimaginable. Yeah. I can't imagine it. Yeah. I can't imagine it. I don't know how. I don't know how it's even possible to imagine what the particulars of this event in such a small community. Tight. They were tight knit. Don't you know? Don't you just know it? Don't you know everybody knew everybody, and all kin to each other, and So anyway, what?
I'm sorry I laughed. Bob's Homestead said next week let's hear Patty sing and Tommy sign.
Well,
I think I could probably teach him to sign. It's just whether he could teach me to sing.
No, I don't know if we've ever discussed this on Patty. We used to think Patty couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. Some people just like that. Well, I discovered one day what it was. Patty is a hardcore alto. I'm talking about dyed-in-the-wool hardcore alto.
To the point it don't sound good, okay?
Well, it sounds good in harmony. Sounds beautiful in harmony. And the way we discovered this, I'm one of those people that if I don't know a song well, I've got to have a strong tenor singing in my left ear. What goes in my ear comes out my mouth. And we were standing in church one day singing a song, and Patty happened to be to my left, and she was singing a song that had a very well-defined, great alto line, and she was nailing it. And I heard it, and so because it was going in my ear, I started hearing the alto line as well. So I kind of turned toward her so she could hear me singing, and it was beautiful. She was nailing it. But for some reason, the way her ear works is she tries to sing an alto line even if there isn't one. And so now if we're like singing together, I try to find the alto line, and if I can, if she's having trouble finding it, I start singing it and point toward her. And once she hears it, bam, and it's beautiful. But that alto line in a song does not sound good by itself.
It's a flat. It's a monotone sounded line almost.
And
most of the songs that I've sung in the choir.
And you've never heard an alto solo, that I know of, because it doesn't. It's a key piece, a beautiful piece of a harmony. But that's what it is. Patty's got a beautiful alto voice, and but she needs it to be in an alto
setting,
alto track. So that's what it is.
Anyway,
Night, Linda. Thank you.
Bring AJ home says that that was wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Tara shared your link. So he followed it to they followed it from Facebook.
Oh well, thank you, Tara. I appreciate that.
Can't wait to get to heaven. Oh, what a day!
Oh, what a day!
Oh, does it go?
I don't know. I have to look it up.
We got to sing that song.
Yeah.
And I want to sing the song, There is a Mansion.
When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the jubilee.
The victory.
Victory, yeah. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. After we get up off of our face.
Yeah.
Because I got an idea. The first thing I do ain't going to be singing. It's going to be hitting the dirt. But I don't know.
What about that song, the Mansion song? That's my favorite.
The Mansion song. Oh, we're over time.
Just there is a mansion just over the hilltop.
Just over the hilltop. I don't know. That's all I know.
No, not the duh.
All right. So here's the deal. Feel free. We tell you when we started doing these hymns on our Sunday shows that we would hold off on taking requests.
Well, you're getting them.
Well, good. But listen, not in the chat. The chat goes away. I mean, you're welcome to put in there.
Yeah.
But you have to go comment on this video once it processed and post and send in your recommendations or your request. And I'm not making any promises because I got to feel comfortable with the theology of the hymn. I got to feel comfortable that the doctrine is sound. And I also have to feel comfortable that I won't make it sound like, a bunch of rocks breaking glass or something. I got to make sure it's something that I feel like I can sing, because the message don't get to your heart if it can't get through your ear.
Bob Holmes said that Tommy, you can sing and he'll sit next to you in church. That way nobody would hear him. And he says that he whispers. He can't sing. He whispers. LOL. But I love to sing, not just with my hands.
And what does the Bible say?
Make a joyful noise.
Make
it doesn't
a joyful
say
noise.
It's going to be on key or anything. But I love to sit by people that sing loud because I like to sing loud.
Yeah, and I sing loud. I'm holding it back.
And I just go to, but I mean, I don't want anybody to ever say, I can hear you too, because then I'll be self-conscious. But anyway.
My police command voice comes out, and I can sing from my diaphragm, and it would blow these speakers out of this little thing.
He can sing loud. He don't talk real loud, but he sings loud.
No, I'm soft-spoken, but when I need to.
Thank you,
so
Place.
I sing loud. Well, look, we got to go. We're over time. So let me remind you this. Whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. And can we ask you to do something? Pray for the people of Sutherland Springs, Texas, not just tonight with us together, but tonight as you end your day, or even right now, and tomorrow and in the days to come. Because y'all, I'm telling you, it will be years, certainly going to be weeks and months before those directly affected. But in a town of 400 people, I'm willing to bet they were all directly affected, even if they weren't there. And just that your state affects you. Yeah, people in Texas
it's
are
so
affected.
Close to home, and in reality, it's not that far from us,
No, that's right.
But, I mean,
well, Blake Kirby, Daddy Kirby's farm, about 20 miles away. I checked it on him.
Yeah,
and,
but I mean, that's just, lots of people.
Yeah, so don't forget to pray for these people. They're going to need it. They're going to need to know, and they'll feel it. If you're born again and you're connecting with your Father, those people will feel it. Because God is eager to show Himself strong on their behalf.
That's right.
Thank y'all. We love you, and we'll see you next week, if not before.
Good night.
Bye.